folks, welcome. This is Spoon TV live coming to you from outside the Temple of Justice. You can hear jubilations coming in from those who are not supporters of Prophet Key. Coming in from the Supreme Court is that Prophet Key has been handed 6 months in the Monrovia Central Prison. He is to also issue an apology in all of the local dailies for a period of 5 days, and as a condition of his release, he is also to file a behavior bond. These are what is coming from the Supreme Court of Liberia as his punishment for criminal. Is going to be incarcerated at the Monrovia Central Prison for 6 months, which is 180 or so days. So Prophet Key is to be turned over to the Bureau of Corrections and Rehabilitation. So folks, wherever it is you're watching us from, this is Spoon TV coming to you live from outside the Supreme Court of Liberia, where you see the men of the Liberian National Police are posted right outside. Earlier we saw the Bureau of Correction bus. We do see 2 fortified PSU cars. One is known as the Beast. It is out there and parking, as well as the contingent of PSU officers are also stationed right here. The Supreme Court of Liberia has issued a verdict guilty of criminal contempt against Justin Opa Yenze, known as Prophet Key. The court said his actions constitutes criminal contempt and did bring the court to public ridicule and injured the Supreme Court of Liberia. Proceedings started on Tuesday, where Prophet Key came in and said he didn't have a lawyer and he was lawyered up with public defendants. Then he reappeared on Thursday due to the celebration of the 69th Armed Forces Day. On Thursday, Prophet Key broke down in the Supreme Court of Liberia, tearfully, remorsefully, apparently crying and pleading for mercy. That was also mentioned in the reading of the Supreme Court's verdict. But whether his apology was genuine, the court said he has now been slapped with 6 months of incarceration at the Monrovia Central Prison, known as South Beach. Also, he is to publish an apology for 5 days in all of the local dailies in Liberia, and will sign a behavior bond promising that he will never ever repeat such. So he will be turned over to the Bureau of Corrections by the court, and he will be whisked away to the Monrovia Central Prison. And the Associate Justice reading the opinion of the Supreme Court said his incarceration begins immediately. So he's now going to go home to go and change and get clothes or whatever. He will be taken that home, the Monrovia Central Prison, for a period of 6 months. We live here at the Monrovia Central Prison. My name is Diamond Slanger. I'm here with Wisdom Kaba Dijen. Nelson Collier is in the chamber of the Supreme Court of Liberia, and you can see the contingent of PSU officers that are already seated here and is standing and have their shield. Their shield wear is already prepared, awaiting the arrival of Prophet Key. We can also see 2 PSU vehicles. This one is called the Beast. As you can see, this vehicle is called the Beast, and apparently the Beast is going to take Prophet Key and provide him with the escort. There is another PSU pickup there, and the place is crowded. Prophet Key seemed to have met his Waterloo. The judiciary has got in itself contempt power that is inherent in the judiciary. Whether for direct or indirect contempt, we will be bringing you all of what is happening here live at the Temple of Justice. There are those, the sheriffs are also joining the war, and you can see this is a place that has got divided views as well. You can see the PSU vehicle is also here. The women are also happy for what is unfolding here, and whether or not he will be brought outside through this new entrance is where we are yet to establish. So we remain posted here. The grounds of the Temple of Justice is crowded. The sheriffs and the rest are providing a serious, barricade. And this tells you the extent and the popularity of Prophet Key. This also tells you whether or not Prophet Key is approved or disapproved. There are mixed views here as we await the arrival of Prophet Key. So we'll see where and how he will be taken, where will he be taken from, whether he will be put on board this PSU vehicle that is called the Beast. We will be providing you all of the coverage. So this is what is happening here at the Temple of Justice. We remain right here to bring you all of the unfoldings as Prophet Key will begin his incarceration immediately. 6 months prison sentence being provided and handed down by the Supreme Court of Liberia for what is said as criminal contempt of court. That is the charge, criminal contempt of court. You can see some women are celebrating, some people are happy. There are those who you can hear the beast is even revving its engine. You can hear the mixed views. So the beast is revving its engine. The Bureau of Corrections bus is already packed as well. So folks, this is what is unfolding live from the Temple of Justice. Remember when Prophet Key arrived, I asked him, what does it make of Friday the 13th? He said, well, he's not a superstitious person, but Friday the 13th in itself is not a day of good tidings. So 6 months of prison time for Justin Opa. As well. So we are waiting for the corrections bus happening live here at the Supreme Court of Liberia. So we will be bringing you all of the updates. The chairman, we see movements, we see people running. Whether he's being brought down, we have to be vigilant. But the Supreme Court, the driver of the beast, has gotten on board his vehicle. So we are waiting. Any moment from now, Prophet Key will be brought out. You see the beast is rearranging itself. He will be transferred to begin 6 months of incarceration at the Monrovia Central Prison. He will also render an apology to the Supreme Court of Liberia, and Prophet Key will publish for 5 consecutive days the apology to the Supreme Court and file a behavior bond as a precondition for his release. Prophet Key has met his Waterloo. The Supreme Court of Liberia has exercised its power of contempt on the Supreme Prophet, as he calls himself. Keyism has been dealt a very chronic and heavily felt punch here today. The wife of Prophet Key, in a very different mood, exiting the court, has said she will not comment a day after he appeared, the day he appeared on Tuesday, Prophet Key said he has tested the justice system and the system is credible. But contrary to that, his chairman has said that the court has not got priorities, that there are many rape cases and the rest, and the court chose to, in a 4G style, prosecute the key proponent of Keyism. So folks, wherever you are, this is Spoon TV. Earlier this morning, Prophet Key said that he will tear gas the traditional elders, chiefs, and those who, in his words, he termed as they did not call him up or invite him with respect. On Tuesday, Prophet Key, said he didn't have a lawyer. He was subsequently provided public defenders. Then on Thursday, yesterday, Prophet Key openly apologized to the court and officers of the court. So let's listen in. Take on the ruling first. What it? They have been convicted. 6 months in jail. And after that, you're right. They probably to apologize to the women of Liberia. So do you think that's going to silence Prophet Key for good? No, not a matter of silence. It's a matter of precedent set. So what's the precedent? I said it. And I've been so why in case men no. Why in case you sent it for 6 months? We are doing as a precedent. As a precedent. So that the thing cannot be repeating children upon children. So they may go and serve as a precedent, so as a deterrent for people who want to do so. What's about Prophet Key's freedom of expression and all of that? What do you have to say? It went beyond freedom of speech. It went beyond freedom of speech. Thank you. So Prophet Key's wife was booed earlier as she was passing by the crowd here while we await the removal of Prophet Key from the Supreme Court of Liberia. We see a cross section of Liberians here equally watching what is unfolding. These cars are ready to move, and here is the Bureau of Corrections bus as well. Whether Prophet Key will be put on board this Bureau of Corrections bus, that remains to be unsaid. But this bus came here since this morning. It was parked and waiting at the windows here at the Temple of Justice. You can see onlookers, and they are all queuing in through the windows to get a peep of Prophet Key and to get a glance of what's happening here down. But down here is where all of the action is unfolding. The Supreme Court has exercised its constitutional power of contempt, and Prophet Key has been sentenced to 6 months incarceration at the Monrovia Central Prison. He is going to issue an apology, a published apology, in all of the local dailies in Liberia for 5 consecutive days, and he, as a precondition for his release, is also going to file a behavior bond, telling the Supreme Court that he will never ever do it again. On Thursday, Prophet Key issued an apology, said he's a changed man, that he's not going to insult Mancos anymore, but he's going to be picky and selective of the words that he will use. Now, this morning when Prophet Key arrived, he had on his head his chieftaincy hat. He had in his hand his cowtail. He took those paraphernalias with him in the court, but going to the Monrovia Central Prison, he is not going to wear his chieftaincy hat. He's not going to have his cowtail in his hand. He is going to be powerless for 6 months. As to whether or not that is going to effectuate a change in Prophet Key, or whether or not when he returns from serving his sentence at the Monrovia Central Prison, he is going to turn into more of a beast mode, as this car that is waiting to provide him with escort, or better still be his transport vehicle, is also labeled as the beast. Phones are up, journalists are present, the police is present, members of the Bureau of Correction and Rehabilitation present, all locals, even those peeping through the windows, are present. So let's see if we can sample some views. Chief, what do you make of Prophet Key's sentence?
Today is the most beautiful day when it comes to this country justice system.
Why?
I was saying to my friends here, I said, no man can cause a woman inside and go free. Only because the law is there. So all the time we've been here, we've been thinking that the law is weak. But today, our justice system are proving to us that Liberia is country with law.
So do you believe Prophet Key said causing can make witchcraft change? You think it's true?
Prophet Key should be the first witchcraft to change today. If causing can make witchcraft change, Prophet Key should be the first witchcraft that will change today. And I tell you, this is just the beginning of Prophet Key. From the day Prophet Key lied and said there is no God, from the day he lied and said there is no God, he probably stopped.
All right, thank you. So he's definitely not a supporter of Prophet Key. Let's see if we can speak to somebody else who wants to express an opinion. Chief, are you a supporter of Prophet Key? What do you make of a punishment meted up by the Supreme Court? All right, so we want to keep sampling views, but also make sure we do not at any cost lose or catching a glimpse of Prophet Key being brought out here. So the Supreme Court has exercised its contempt powers as inherent in the Constitution, as also enshrined in Title 17 of the Liberian Code of Laws, and the rest. So we will be bringing you all of what is happening. There is an array of journalists to tell you the magnitude of this case as well. Prophet Key said he has been advocating for the Liberian people. His speech is based on frustration, that he has been frustrated. That's why the outburst has been coming. He apologized that he's now a changed man, that appearing at the Supreme Court of Liberia, somewhat changed him instantly. He promised and swore not to repeat cursing man as he usually used to do. But the court, reading its opinion, said the apology rendered was taken note of, but the integrity and the image of the court, the reputation of the court had been damaged. It had been injured. So there are those who have been saying whether or not this is legal, that there is the Camara Act. Reading the opinion, the Associate Justice also stated that Article 15, whereas it grants freedom of speech, it comes with responsibility. What the Camara law of 2019 did was to decriminalize. So the bus is getting ready. The corrections bus is getting ready. The correction bus is getting ready. And we will be bringing you all of what is unfolding. Melvin Jackson is here as well. And so we are awaiting Prophet Key to exit the bellies of the Temple of Justice. So if you're just joining us, the commitment of Prophet Key is being prepared to be committed to the Monrovia Central Prison for 6 months. While we are awaiting Prophet Key to be brought down, let's see if we can sample some of the views as well. What's up, boss man? How are you? Hello, sir. Are you a supporter of Prophet Key? Oh, you can't say anything. All right. What's up, Chief? How you doing? Boss man, how are you? You okay? What do you make of the verdict here today? Okay. Yeah. That's all you are saying. Are you a supporter of Prophet Key?
I can help you a supporter of Prophet Key.
What do you make of the verdict here today?
100%.
100%?
Yeah.
Why are you happy?
It's okay. Because at least our money will rest. People, parents, children coming up, hearing this kind of a cause, they hate people out the country.
So you say Prophet Key is not a role model?
No.
All right. So Mama Key is coming. She's got his hat. She's got his hat in his hand. Mama Key, wale kaote. Mama Key, wale kaote. So wale kaote, ma. You need a kaote, bien.
What the county?
You get a hand of Prophet Key. Where's the county?
So, what happened? You can't speak now. Are you crying? Were you missing for the 6 months?
6 months. You've been there for Prophet Key now. You carry but we can't see
Were you carrying food on Valentine's Day? So she's got a cap, but she doesn't have the county. She says she's not going to speak. Mama Key is silent as compared to other days where she was very vocal. And that is Prophet Key hat.
Are you disappointed?
That is his hat. She's not speaking to the media, but she doesn't have the cow-tail. Now that we have seen Mama Key, we are awaiting her husband, Prophet Key, to be brought out. As you can see, the PSU officers are all set, making sure they provide a protective perimeter. So we are awaiting Prophet Key to be brought outside. Liberians have gathered here on the grounds of the Temple of Justice, and this is Friday the 13th, 6 months of imprisonment, publishing of a written apology in all of the local dailies for 5 days, as well as signing a behavior bond. Those are his punishments. The court has thrown the book at Prophet Key. Mama Key, his wife, has taken away his chieftaincy hat. This is where the supreme leader has been outclassed and battered by the Supreme Court. This is where power, when it meets power plus authority, succumbs. The prophet has been thrown the book here at the Temple of Justice. It all started when he was summoned, when he received a citation from the Supreme Court to appear with his legal representative and give reason as to why he shouldn't be held in contempt of court. Prophet Key appeared on Tuesday, the 11th of February, without legal representation. He was then provided 2 public defenders to represent his interest. He had a day of rest because Wednesday was a holiday, and on Thursday, proceedings resumed. Prophet Key in open court with a teary eye and seemingly an apologetic posture, apologized to the Supreme Court and said he was a changed man, that he will never ever insult anybody again, that he will not cause man cause. He appeared outside of the court speaking to journalists. He said he's a changed man. He's now a reformed person. What you celebrating? You celebrating? What do you make of the verdict against Prophet Key? But Prophet Key said words are meant to be used. What do you think?
But the man said the insult can make demons to go away. Why do you make of
So, what do you think should go to jail apart from Prophet Key?
I said Prophet Key will go to jail today.
But you said only Prophet Key. Who that person?
So with the 6 months again, you please with the 6 months? 1 year. What?
So
1 year 6 months.
So is it the mean that the sentence is
your
not
name.
okay for him?
But now you have to go to jail.
Your name.
So you can hear it.
she is in support of Prophet Key's incarceration. Meanwhile, Prophet Key called on his supporters, he called on his supporters to come and provide him with the moral support. But since then, we haven't seen any supporter of Prophet Key here to provide him with the needed.
A woman, you will not favor him. He's very arrogant. He's a rude baby. Very rude. I tell you, I'm going to my ear.
But if you tell hearing it, how you used to be listening to him to hear it?
Our means.
It's my right?
So you used to wash it? So you used to wash it?
You for spoon. How you don't know it?
No, I asked you now, you the subject. So you happy now that they put him Prophet Key in jail? You happy?
How you know it?
You happy that they put him in jail?
I'm very happy. I'm very excited. I want to see the years. Yeah, God says more. I still feel bad.
But why you want to hold 3 years?
He will still be able to cheat. When you cheat, you go buy again.
So what I say that you want Prophet Key alone to spend and he says 3 years.
Because they're spoiling our children, brother. They're spoiling our children. Even your son. They're spoiling your son at the house.
It's probably the only one that use social media to insult.
There's a president.
How old is your son?
I'm James.
If you're able to the table Prophet Key, why about me? If you're able to the table Prophet Key, what best advice do you think you have?
Oh man, no, whoever will come and go to jail and say yes. Say yes. Say more, small.
But Prophet Key saying they're talking for the Liberian people.
Why would the Liberian people?
He saying they talk BP to the Liberian people.
They recipe are big. I'm just people.
Also, because you talk for you all, now why you happy like going to jail? Because you say him talk for you all, why you happy like going to jail?
It's not talk for too.
But the message will change now.
You think it will change?
Alright, thank you. So, there you have it. Liberians expressing their views on the Prophet Key issue. Others have said he should go to jail for 3 years.
Go out and be insulting women in the nation and at large is very bad.
Prophet Key said he uses his platform for advocacies to intercede for people, to advocate for people. So sometimes, if he's using the regular means, by being more constructive, these people wouldn't hear him. But sometimes he has to be more combative by using these vocal languages. So he said that's the only time he get that in court. So how do you see that portion of it?
I don't look at it to be rude at all. Because if using the media to insult people and you think you will do it to motivate people, it's a very bad act.
Prophet Key said a person can make witchcraft change, and he don't do things in a country that brought changes. Do you think people like Prophet Key, even if their language is not accepted, they've brought change to this country somewhat?
Not at all. Using your voice to insult women and you call that bringing change to the nation,
do you think the 6-month sentence is adequate or is small?
If you ask me, I would tell you they should have added more to it.
What's the time you think you should have spent there that would change it?
Like a year plus.
If you're able to sit with Prophet Key's wife.
So, where are the supporters of Prophet Key? We cannot see them. All of those we've spoken to are not in favor of Prophet Key. Let's join the interview with the spokesperson of the Liberia National Police. So the police spokesperson, Cecilia Clark, is here. So we remain posted right here as we await Prophet Key. So we are still here at the Temple of Justice, awaiting Prophet Key to be brought outside from the Temple of Justice. The police already positioned. The PSU contingent is also here. Prophet Key has been handed 6 months imprisonment. He is to also publish an apology in all of the local dailies for 5 days. He is also to sign a behavior bond as a precondition for his release. Those we have spoken to have expressed joy in his incarceration, but disappointment in what they termed as a very short sentence. 6 months, others have said it's not warranted. It should have been 3 years, 1 year, 6 months. Another person said 6 years should have been given to Prophet Key. But for whatever their differences are, the Supreme Court of Liberia has sentenced him on the crime of criminal contempt of court and subsequently handed him a 6-month prison sentence as well. Prophet Key, known for his vulgar and invective outburst, speaking earlier this morning, said he has brought about changes in Liberia. He said his advocacy, somewhat unorthodox, has brought changes to Liberia. He said he is a changed man and he is not going to insult anymore the man who has named himself Prophet Key, known as Justin Opa Yensen, had his day in court, or should I say had 3 days in court. Day number 1 on Tuesday when he appeared, he didn't come with a legal representation. Day number 2 on Thursday when he was already provided legal representation on Tuesday, his lawyers, being public defenders, pleaded with the court that their client had gone beyond the freedoms provided in Article 15 of the Constitution and hence pled with the court to temper justice with mercy. Whether 6 months is a merciful prison time, well, the court has said it took into consideration his appeal. He's also to publish an apology in all of the local dailies for 5 days and sign a behavior bond. We are waiting for him to be brought down. We saw his wife with some of his personal effects. His iconic chieftaincy cap was brought down by his wife. We didn't see her with the cowtail, but he cannot be allowed to take the cowtail to the Monrovia Central Prison, so presumably she's got that as well. So we remain posted right here, awaiting Prophet Key to be brought out. The emergency blinkers on the police vehicle is on. The engine is revving. The place is crowded. Media practitioners from all around present, ordinary Liberians, even those staff and others who've got businesses to do here at the Temple of Justice are standing through windows and looking down. The prophet has fallen. I repeat, the prophet has fallen. The supreme leader, as he termed himself on Tuesday, has fallen. South Beach is about months. Prophet Key will not be doing his podcast for 6 months. Prophet Key will only be seen by visitors for 6 months. Prophet Key is not going to enjoy Valentine's Day eating apple and playing love, eating chocolates, he will rather be an inmate of the Monrovia Central Prison. For others who are political commentators, they've said that this singular action of incarcerating Prophet Key is going to have an effect on the ruling Unity Party alliance, an alliance for which he advocated for and spoke for. Others have said it is not a political party affiliation, but rather the sanity of the Republic of Liberia, that there must be an example made of Prophet Key, as there were other examples including made out of Rodney Sie, Double Jala, the Liberian Observer, and other newspapers that have been slapped with contempt of court as well. Contempt power is inherent in the judiciary, is enshrined in the Constitution of Liberia. It is also supported and enshrined in the Liberia Code of Laws, Title 17, that grants contempt powers to the judiciary in instances where a person or a publication brings the judiciary to public disrepute, undermines the ability of the court to function, and the rest. The Supreme Court said in its ruling it was injured by the malicious words, the invectives that were used by Prophet Key, insulting the mother of a sitting Chief Justice, calling the Chief Justice corrupt. That brought an undermining of the judiciary. So remain posted here. The onlookers are present. The young, the old, all present here. The door there at the Temple of Justice is where all eyes are peeled and pinned to, awaiting Prophet Key to emerge. From here, the Prophet will subsequently be taken to the Monrovia Central Prison, where the ruling stated that his sentence begins immediately. So the 13th of February, March, April, May, June, July, before Prophet Key will be released. And as a condition for his release, as a precondition for his release, he must also sign a behavioral bond. That bond is going to ensure that he doesn't carry out any of such offenses in the future. Remember, speech or free speech as guaranteed by Article 15 also comes with limitations and responsibilities. The Camara law of 2019 decriminalized free speech, but also didn't take away the contempt powers of the judiciary that is enshrined in the Constitution. So whereas there is free speech, it comes with responsibility. There is also judicial contempt or contempt of court that is enshrined in the Constitution and the Code of Laws, Title 17, that protects the judiciary and its independence, as well as protects the judiciary and gives it contempt powers. So the KAK law didn't take away contempt powers from the judiciary. It did not. There are two types of contempt. There is direct contempt. That is, if your actions violates the rules of the court and brings the judiciary to public ridicule, whether in open court, you can be held on direct contempt. Constructive contempt is whether a publication, a statement, or anything of whatsoever brings the court to public ridicule, undermines the integrity of the judiciary, and undermines the dispensation of justice in Liberia. You can be held for constructive contempt. So one is done in open court, the other is done out of court, and both of these contempts you are brought to court to answer why you shouldn't be held in contempt, and the punishment of contempt lies within the powers of the court. We did see the Supreme Court exercising that particular power as well. My name is Diamond Slanger. We here, it is a bit windy. The sun is not bright or shining. It's a beautiful day, but today is not so much of a beautiful day for the Prophet Key family. So we will remain present here, bringing you all of the actions, all of what is unfolding. So we remain live here, we remain posted here. This is the Spoon Network. So we remain posted right here, bringing you all of what is unfolding. The prophet has fallen. I repeat, the prophet has fallen. The supreme leader has fallen. So folks, we remain posted here and awaiting Prophet Key to be brought out. We are awaiting Prophet Key to be brought out. His commitment, we've been told, is being prepared for him to make his way to where will be his new home for the next 6 months. Spoon Network will continue to remain live here, bringing you all of what's unfolding. The ambience here is that of a noisy one. Opinions are being exchanged as to what has unfolded. We will bring you all of the unfoldings from not just the Temple of Justice, but from the Monrovia Central Prison as well, where Prophet Key will be incarcerated for 6 months. Followers of the prophet, followers of Keyism, followers of the supreme leader as he turned himself, will not be entertained for 6 months, will not enjoy his podcast unless some way he sneaks in a smartphone and is able to go live, which is against the policies of the Bureau of Corrections and Rehabilitation. So whether or not his son, Original Key, will continue the Key legacy for 6 months until Prophet Key returns. We see Mark Jabate is making its way in the court, but we saw the wife of Prophet Key taking away his cap, his iconic cap. She had it on his arm. Prophet Key entered the courtroom with that cap on his head this morning. Prophet Key had in his hand his iconic cowtail as well. But we are aware that he's not going to take those items with him at the Monrovia Central Prison. No, he's not. So we saw his wife removing the cap and taking it away, but we didn't see her with the cow tail as well, whether it was concealed or not. That's what we saw, and that's what we are reporting. Those who have spoken to have said, in their majority, that they support the incarceration of Prophet Key, but many of them said the duration of his incarceration was a very short one. Some of them said he should have been incarcerated for 1 year. Another person said 1 year, 6 months. Another person said 3 years. Another person said 6 years. But the Supreme Court has opined and ruled that for criminal libel, Justin Opa Yenzen is going to Lake in South Beach for 6 months. The prophet has fallen. The supreme leader has been juggernauted by the Supreme Court in a battle of supreme versus supreme. The Supreme Court has come out the most supreme of the two. If there is a word, the most suprema of the two. If there isn't, the supremest of the two. The supreme leader, Prophet Key, and his liberty has been seized. For 6 months, he will be confined to the walls of the Monrovia Central Prison. On Tuesday, when he appeared, he didn't have a legal representation. There were those who speculated that the lawyers had silently decided not to represent him. Prophet Key said he didn't have a lawyer, and as by law, he was assigned 2 lawyers by the court, and the hearing was postponed or adjourned for a better legal term. The hearing was adjourned to Thursday. Then on Thursday, so on Thursday, Prophet Key, now with his legal representation, being the public defenders, appeared in court, and they pled for mercy. His lawyers admitted that their client had gone beyond the rights as given to him under the Constitution in Article 15, and that he had gone beyond his responsibilities as a citizen, and he had gone beyond the rights as given to him in Article 15, and they pled with the court to temper justice with mercy. When he emerged from the court on Thursday, Prophet Key sounded as a changed man. He said he was a changed man, that he wasn't going to insult anymore, that he would be more picky in his words, doing his advocacy. In fact, on Tuesday, just to take you back, he posted and said that he had tested the justice system in the country and it's credible. So now it is the credible justice system, according to Prophet Key, that has now handed him 6 months of prison term. That he's going to be in jail for 6 months. As to whether or not when he is freed, whether or not he still believes in the credibility of the justice system of Liberia, we'll see whether we can make him to give us some few words as to whether or not that will be possible. We cannot tell that, but we are waiting Prophet Key to be brought out. So wherever you're watching us from, this is Spoon TV Live, coming to you from the
Temple of Justice here on Capitol Hill. My name is Diamond Slanger. We've been here since this morning, bringing you proceedings of what's unfolding here at the Temple of Justice. So we remain live. Cameras are peeled, fixed on what's unfolding. The police still maintaining their line. The PSU contingent is still present. The media is also represented in full. The court has handed down a verdict for the Supreme Court, an opinion that will be legal reliance in future cases of such. A precedent has been set, but there were prior cases before that of Prophet Keys. So to give you some cases of contempt that involved media personalities, we go back to some of these cases. There was a case involving Front Page Africa in 2013, and the publication was fined a heavy fine in order to publish an apology. And the reason for that was they published an article suggesting improper judicial conduct. The court held in its ruling that the publication undermined public confidence. Then in 2002, Rodney Sear and the New Democrat case, the penalty was a fine plus a threat of prison sentence. The reason was articles deemed scandalizing the judiciary were published. The court stressed that free speech does not include attack on judicial integrity. Then in 2014, the National Chronicle case, the penalty was a detention plus a fine. The reason was unsubstantiated allegations of judicial corruption, and the court ruled that the publication endangered the justice system. Then in 2015, James Doba Jala, the penalty was suspension from practice. He is a lawyer, so he was suspended from practice. He was fined, and the reason was public accusation of the Supreme Court as being biased, and the court emphasized that the lawyer's duty was to uphold judicial dignity. So yes, in Liberia there is free speech that is guaranteed under Article 15 and enforced as well as enhanced by the KAK Act of 2019. But there is also the responsibilities thereof of citizens to conduct themselves and make responsible statements, whereas the KAK Act of 2019 decriminalized portions of the Penal Code of Liberia. Those portions include Section 11.11 of the 1978 Penal Law. The KAK Act repealed Section 11.11 that's talk about criminal libel against the president. Section 11.12 that talked about sedition. Section 11.14 that also outlined criminal malevolence. So those three sections were repealed by the KAK Act, decriminalizing free speech against the president and public officials. But what the KAK Act didn't repeal was judicial contempt that is inherent with the judiciary, contempt of court that is inherent of the judiciary, which is also protected by the Constitution. So yes, contempt power lies in the court. So the KAK law did not contradict Article 15, rather it complemented Article 15. whereas Article 15 protects free speech but allows restrictions when necessary. The KAK Act removed criminal penalties that were considered excessive and inconsistent with democratic norms. The Constitution does not require criminal penalties for defamation or sedition. It only allows restrictions when justified. The KAK Act simply shifts enforcement from criminal law to civil law, which is fully compatible with Article 15. So when others argue that the KAK law, makes it a free range for people to say whatever, there is defamation, there is libel, you can be taken to court in a civil action for injuring or harming the integrity and character of another person. There is also, as I said, the judiciary enjoys contempt powers. It is in Article 65 of the Constitution that grants the judiciary inherent judicial powers. Article 66, the Supreme Court is the final authority. The judicial law, Title 17, talks about statutory contempt powers that is inherent in the court, and the court have the full discretion to determine the appropriate punishments as well. So we'll keep bringing you a commentary of what's unfolding here as we await Prophet Key to be brought out. Wherever you're watching us from, the name Prophet Key and this proceedings here have brought a lot of onlookers. The debate is going to continue even after he begins serving his 6-month sentence. We will remain posted here. We saw Mama Key, his wife, taking with her some of his personal effects that he had earlier entered the court with, notably his Chief Dempsey cap. She had it in her hands. She exercised her rights not to make any comments as compared to prior days where she was vocally in support of her husband. She didn't make comments after she exited the court on 2 occasions, but the chairman of the Key movement said that they have a plan of action and that the judiciary is busy in itself with a case like Prophet Key's and not taking siege of other what he termed as important matters as well. The murmuring continues. Obviously, there will be pro-Keyists and anti-Keyists. Who will continue the Keyism movement while Prophet Key is away for 6 months? Only time is going to answer that question. Whether the lead proponent of the Keyism movement, Prophet Key, is going to leave the Monrovia Central Prison a changed man, whether or not his incarceration is going to embolden him more, only time is going to be the determining factor of that as well. It's almost 2:30 p.m. here in Liberia. This case was slated The ruling was slated for 11 a.m. It's way past that mark. We know what the verdict is, but now all eyes are peeled on seeing how Prophet Key and when Prophet Key will be brought out. The prophet has fallen. The supreme leader, as he termed himself, has met the supremacy of the Supreme Court. Keyism has been dealt a massive blow on this 13th day of February 2026. This day is going to go down in the history of Keyis and members of the Keyism movement as a day their supreme leader, Justin Opa Yenzen, was taken away to the Monrovia Central Prison. In his defense before the Supreme Court, the leader of Keyism, Prophet Key, said his advocacy is that of what has brought some changes, according to him, that witches change when they are insulted. Earlier this morning when he arrived, he said that all those that he's been insulting are all criminals. But when I asked him whether or not the Chief Justice that he insulted is also an alleged criminal, he said the case of the Chief Justice was different. It was a matter of frustration, and that the Chief Justice is his brother, that they are all from Nimba County. We're seeing folders and files being brought up and down, but all eyes are peeled on awaiting Prophet Key to be brought out. We will remain posted here. Keep sharing this live podcast. According to some folks who just exited the Supreme Court of Liberia, speaking to us quietly, speaking to my colleague here, they said yes, they got a glimpse of the prophet, but he had said he needed to use the gents. So this is a defining moment for Keyism. Whether or not this is going to bring him more supporters upon his release from prison, or whether or not that is going to embolden the Keyism movement, that look, we've been to jail, we've done that, there is nothing extra about going to jail, we are not going to change our advocacy. In fact, whether or not he's going to grow more followers, or whether he's going to be a repentant person, all that remains to be seen 6 months later. He has been mandated to sign a behavior bond that is going to guide his character, his outburst, and his deliberations upon his release from prison 6 months from now. So we remain posted here. We have pictures of the prophet being whisked away by sheriffs of the court, and we will show you those pictures. This is one picture there of the prophet. As you can see him there being whisked away by the sheriff. We will show you subsequent pictures. So this is Prophet Key being taken away by a sheriff of the court. This is Prophet Key being processed by the court's sheriff. So this particular picture, you can see Prophet Key here smiling as he's being taken away, and we are still awaiting Prophet Key to be brought out. So we have the ruling as well. We'll be reading to you the ruling. We just go to the verdict. Because it's 7 pages and we cannot read you all 7 pages. So we just go to where you see wherefore in view of the following. We'll read you that part. Okay, so this is the ruling from the court, and it says, wherefore, in view of the foregoing, the court having found their contemptor guilty of criminal contempt, and the court hereby imposes a definite and certain imprisonment term of 6 months or 180 days at the Monrovia Central Prison, and that prior to his release, he is hereby ordered to publish a letter of apology to the Supreme Court and all Liberians, especially women, in 3 widely circulated newspaper for 5 consecutive, and addition, he is further ordered as a precondition to his release to sign a behavior bond. So there you have it. That is the ruling of the Honorable Supreme Court. And in the bond, the court is saying that Prophet Key must state that he will never use invective or vulgar languages or profanity against any Liberian, and that the term of imprisonment is to take immediate effect. So it's not just for him to say he's not going to insult the Supreme Court or the judiciary, but that he will not use invectives or vulgar language against any Liberian. So the court is not just upholding its own integrity, but upholding the integrity and the character of all Liberians. So the court has said Prophet Key, when he's signing his bond with the clerk of court as a prerequisite for his release, after serving his 180 days of incarceration, he will sign a behavior bond that will say, hey, my people, I promise you all that going forward, I will not use barbed words against anybody, any Liberian. I will not curse you again. I will do my advocacy, but I will do it without cursing. And, you know, though Prophet Key said that cursing can make witchcraft to change, but he will not curse again. That is what the behavioral bond is going to state. That he will say, I will not curse any Liberian person again. Yeah, I will not curse no Liberian again. I will not curse them. That's what the behavioral bond is all about. So the Supreme Leader has met his Waterloo. The Supreme Leader has met his Waterloo. The prophet has fallen. I repeat, the prophet has fallen. This is not a happy day for Keyism or its supporters. This is not a good day. Friday the 13th, 2026 is not a good day for the prophet. We saw Mama Key lost for words, silent, decided not to speak as she exited. Tomorrow, February 14th, Prophet Key will not be playing love with Mama Key. He will not be eating apples and eating chocolates. He will be an inmate of the Monrovia Central Prison. And when asked why was he imprisoned by fellow prisoners, he will say, I was brought here for causing BB cause, by causing bring me here. So we will be live here, bringing you all of what's unfolding. We are still waiting for Prophet Key to be brought out. It's been close to 3 hours. The verdict was read by the Associate Justice. The ruling we do have in our possession. The news has gone all across Liberia and the rest of the world. Liberians home and abroad are aware that Prophet Key has been slapped with 6 months of incarceration. He will be at the Monrovia Central Prison as an inmate beginning today and ending 6 months after. When will he be brought down after all of the processing? That is the question. It is 23 minutes up to 3 p.m. Whether or not they are waiting on the 3 p.m. mark, we cannot verify. So we will bring you live coverage from the Monrovia Central Prison. We have our crew already stationed there as they are waiting Prophet Key to be turned over to the Bureau of Corrections and Rehabilitation. So we just received words that the clerk of the Supreme Court will have to bring the commitment down. They have to sign the commitment and bring it down. We haven't seen Prophet Key brought down here yet. We've been informed that the commitment has not been signed as of this moment. So from all indications, we still do have a bit of time to remain live here. If you are a supporter of Keyism and a supporter of Prophet Key, your prophet and supreme leader has fallen. If you are not a supporter of Prophet Key, his methods of, according to him, his advocacy, then it is a joyous moment as well. But like in any society, there will be supporters and there will be detractors. There will be those who will be happy and there will be those who will be sad. We saw Mama Key being booed as she made her way from the Supreme Court on 2 occasions, being booed by onlookers and bystanders. Those who were obviously booing Mama Key are not supporters of Keyism. Friday the 13th, 2026. Prophet Key is still being processed. We have been told that Prophet Key is still being processed. And those we spoke with earlier, all of them said that the punishment was not that harsh. According to them, the punishment should have been 1 year, 6 months, 3 years. Another person said 6 years. Remember, even though Liberia is a democratic country and freedom of speech is guaranteed under Article 15 of the Constitution, it comes with responsibilities. Even though the KAK Act of 2019 repealed all criminal charges associated with speech or criminal speech as it was called back then, it still has got civil liabilities. The KAK Act of 2019 did not in any way take away the contempt power inherent in the judiciary as enshrined in the 1986 Constitution. And even as private Liberians, you are entitled to filing civil suits against individuals or institutions that you deem might have harmed or damaged your reputation or character. The issue is the burden of proof is on the accuser, and in this case, it's all about judicial contempt. Prophet Key and his lawyers on yesterday pled guilty, accepting liability and responsibility for his actions. He pleaded with the Supreme Court to render justice with mercy and said that he was a changed man. He spoke to reporters yesterday after leaving the Temple of Justice that he's now changed. He's not going to insult anymore. He is going to pick his words while doing his advocacy. He was said yesterday by those in court to have cried and threw himself at the mercy of the court and referred to the female justices as his mothers and the Chief Justice as his father. On Tuesday, again, whether in a fit, in an attempt of good faith, whether he was attempting to cajole the judiciary. On Tuesday, he said that he tasted the judicial system of Liberia and it was credible. It is this same credible judicial system, in his words, that has thrown a 6-month prison sentence at him. So the court, reading his opinion, his verdict today, said that yes, it acknowledged that Prophet Key had rendered an apology, but whether or not the apology was genuine, the court cannot determine that only future actions will determine how genuine and authentic his apology rendered yesterday was. So as a caveat of that, he is going to sign a behavior bond to safeguard his utterances and his outbursts against Liberians going forward. So calculating 6 months from now, and in its ruling the court said 180 calendar days beginning today, so the 13th of February, 6 months will elapse the 13th of July. So before you see Prophet Key out will be the 13th of July. And Prophet Key joked while appearing on the Spoon Talk on Monday that, look, he is headed for the presidency, because once you go to jail and you freed from jail, it catapults you to the presidency, in his own words, that others who have gone to jail and assumed the presidency, he's going to follow such precedent. And this morning, Prophet Key again, when I asked him about his appearance, his summons by the chiefs, elders, and those of Nimba County, whether he's going to honor their invitation. In fact, the prophet said the people didn't invite him in a respectful manner, and they want to forcibly put him and initiate him into the poor. So if they try it, he will spray them with tear gas. Yeah. That's what he said. He said if the chiefs and the Zoos of Nimba County try him, they didn't accord him the respect. They went on radio and announced, their summons for him. They didn't write him in a respectable manner. So if they try anything, you will spray them with tear gas. Yeah. The prophet said that prior to entering the Supreme Court of Liberia. He entered a free man, but will be leaving an inmate of the Monrovia Central Prison. For those in jail who haven't gotten a physical glimpse of Prophet Key, inmates of the Monrovia Central Prison will get first-hand glimpse of Prophet Key. So whereas he might not spend the Valentine's Day with Mama Key, he will be outside to celebrate the independence of Liberia. It's in the same month of July that Liberia gained its independence, the 26th of July. So Prophet Key will gain his independence the 13th of July, and he will be outside to enjoy the independence of Liberia, commemorating his own independence from jail after 6 months. So that is just, by the way, it is just a coincidence that I sought to highlight that July, whereas Liberia celebrates its independence, Prophet Key will also be singing "Freedom is Coming, 13th of July." Yes. Remember that song on Serafina? Yeah. For Prophet Key, freedom will come in that. So we say the 13th of March, April, May, June, July. That's August. August. I beg your pardon, it's August. So he will eat 26 there. Yeah, it's August. 6 months from now will be August. So I do stand corrected. 6 months from now will be August and not July. So Prophet Key is not going to enjoy the July 26th outside. He is going to spend his 26th in jail. So it's going to be the 26th of August, 6 months from now, and not the 26th of July. So thank you for accepting that particular correction. So the 13th of August is where Prophet Key will be released. So thank you. He will be out in August and not July. 6 months from now will be August. So he will eat Valentine's Day there. Then he will eat July 26th there. And then he will come out on the 13th of August. Then he will only enjoy, November 29th and other holidays. So tomorrow, which is Valentine's Day, he will not be enjoying chocolates, some kind of Heleba GB, and enjoying the love of Mama Key. He will not be enjoying and expressing love in the open. He's not going to enjoy the liberty of that. That liberty has been seized. So we saw Mama Key, and rightfully so, she looked down. What if they had plans for the Valentines? What if they had already made reservations for a couple's getaway? So tomorrow, she is not going to spend the Valentines with her love. But interestingly, he is going to enjoy the 24th of August, which is Flag Day. So the media is still present. As you can see, some of my colleagues are crouching because it's been quite a long time since the verdict was announced, and we are still awaiting Prophet Key to be brought out. So we'd love to say thank you to Smile FM and recognize Smile FM in Zweju, Grand Jida County, relaying this live broadcast from the Temple of Justice here on Capitol Hill. We apologize for the interruption that was due to. Alright folks, we do apologize for the break in transmission that is due to internet connectivity issues. But thankfully we are back up and running. Still here waiting for Prophet Key to be brought out, to be taken to the Monrovia Central Prison. He has been slapped with a 6-month prison sentence, 180 calendar days. He is also to publish in 3 of the most widely circulated dailies in Liberia for 5 consecutive days, an apology to all Liberians. And then as a precondition for his release, after serving his 6 months, he will sign a behavior bond stating clearly that going forward, he will never use invectives, verbal words against any Liberian. So I'll take a breather and we'll turn over commentary duties to Winston Dejan up until when Prophet Key will be brought out.
So, yes, of course, this is quite a defining moment for Prophet Key. 6 months imprisonment is never 1 day or 2 days. It's never 1 week, neither 2 weeks. It's 6 months we are talking about here. So, as Damo said earlier, Prophet Key will be in jail up to August 13th will be Prophet Key release date. So quite pathetic on his side. We moments ago we saw his wife, Madam Key. She had a very terrible look. She looks very devastated, and we can just imagine how Prophet Key is now, for the fact that in a couple of minutes or hours he will be at the South Beach of Liberia prison. It's quite pathetic on his side. But many Liberians here are celebrating. Many Liberians are saying this is a precedent set that will be served as deterrent to all Liberians for the fact that the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia guarantees that we can have or enjoy freedom of speech, but in no ways means that you should also use that as a means to be insulting. So many Liberians here are jubilating. They are celebrating for the fact that this case with Prophet Key has been served with 6 months, and many Liberians believe that this will serve as precedent, that will serve to other Liberians as deterrent, that you cannot just insult anybody and feel like you are guaranteed under the Constitution to talk anyhow. You can talk, you can dress, but it should be a more professional way. But the Constitution of Liberia did not say you should use insulting language or languages on your fellow men. So Prophet Key will be at the South Beach very soon. Very soon. The Liberian National Police, they are posted, and the beast. This is Prophet Key escort. This is Prophet Key escort. Very soon, Prophet Key will be escorted to the South Beach of Liberia. We are posted. Keep following, share the live. My name is Winston Deegan. I've been here with my colleague Diamond Slanger, and we are giving you exclusive coverage of this Prophet Key saga. Finally, the ruling has been served. Prophet Key to prison. Prophet Key to the South Beach of Liberia very soon. Liberia Central Prison, and he will be there for the next 6 months. As Diamond said earlier, Prophet Key will be there up to August 13th. 2026. So meaning he's going to spend his Independence Day in the South Beach of Liberia. So fortunately for him, he'll be out on Flag Day. So this is quite a historic moment for Prophet Key. You know, history has two sides. You got to be positive, sometimes negative. So definitely this is quite a bad time for Prophet Key. Quite a bad time for Prophet Key. And Prophet Key's wife, her look was not too good. She looks very, very devastated. And we saw the madam with Prophet Key, hat, what we call his traditional hat. He always used that hat. She took along the hat in the car. So it's clear that few moments from now, Prophet Key will be escorted at the South Beach of Liberia prison. The security here are very tight. The securities are very, very tight. They are posted, well posted. And Liberians, almost everyone here, been celebrating for the fact that Prophet Key was served 6 months imprisonment. They've been celebrating. They've been happy, and they are saying this will be a precedent to all Liberians, all of us, that though the Constitution guarantees freedom of expression, but it's not possible that you should use that freedom of expression to be insulted. So we are expecting Prophet Key very soon. Very, very soon, Prophet Key will be down and he will be escorted at the South Beach of Liberia prison.
So folks, also what's been unfolding here at the Supreme Court is today is admittance day. Those who pass the bar are being admitted to the bar here, to the Supreme Court bar. So that's a side program as well. And we've been informed that the clerk of court is also at that particular admittance program, and is the clerk of court that will sign the commitment and bring it out and bring it down for Prophet Key to be transferred to the Monrovia Central Prison. So you see hawks being exchanged. These are newly admitted members of the Supreme Court bar. So that is also a side event, aside the Prophet Key case that has been happening here at the Supreme Court of Liberia. So now these are admitted lawyers of the bar, and they can stand before the Supreme Court and any other court and plead cases. So that is what is unfolding. You see some notable Liberian lawyers, including George Kalando. They just admitted them to the Supreme Court bar. So that is why the process is taking so long, we've been informed. So the clerk of the Supreme Court also in attendance of that program, and after that program, the clerk of the Supreme Court will then prepare and sign the commitment and bring it down for Prophet Key to be transferred to the Monrovia Central Prison. So the issue of Prophet Key is not the only thing that's unfolding here at the Temple of Justice. They have their admittance program today here at the Supreme Court as well. New lawyers admitted to the Supreme Court bar. So they were Antonins, now they'll be admitted to the bar, they become councillors. They can plead before the Supreme Court and any other court in Liberia.
So for the fact that we are already seeing the newly admitted lawyers outside, it's obvious that that ceremony is over, and the clerk going to proceed to sign that commitment, and Prophet Key going to be outside very shortly and escorted to the South Beach of Liberia prison.
So we remain posted as we await the newly admitted lawyers called to bar to leave the main entrance after their photo taking session with their family members and friends. We will be awaiting for Prophet Key, the main reason we're here, to be brought out.
So stick and stay with us. There is Spoon TV. Keep sharing the live Facebook podcast. Remain with us. There is Spoon TV. We're going to be here.
He's been brought.
Prophet Key. Prophet Key.
So there you see Prophet Key. Prophet Key has been brought out. There he is. Prophet Key has been brought out. There the prophet is. Prophet Key is being brought out. He's waving his cow tail. He's shaking his cow tail. Prophet Key, you still trust the justice system? Prophet Key, go to there the prophet is. Prophet Key has been taken away. He's shackled. He's shackled. Prophet Key has been Prophet Key is being bundled. Police chief. He is now inside this police vehicle that is named Beast One. Prophet Key is on board this vehicle and he's being taken to the Monrovia Central Prison. 6 months, you can see the police jumping on board. Yeah, he's jumping on board. They are whisking Prophet Key away. We'll bring you another broadcast from the Monrovia Central Prison. The beast is taking Prophet Key away. As you can see, this vehicle is nicknamed the Beast. It's taking Prophet Key away all through the windows. Phones are recording all over. The prophet is being taken away. 6 months. 6 months. And you can see, listen for cheering. So Prophet Key has been taken away to cheers from those here at the Temple of Justice. So there you have it, folks. The next point of action now is the Monrovia Central Prison, where Justice Opa Yenze will serve 6 months of incarceration. So the So you happy that the man go to jail?
I'm happy that the man go to jail.
Yes, I'm too happy. Why are you happy?
I'm listening to play.
Oh, no, for Contempt, we are the traditional people.
We now born men for to be a BCO. So we take what they need to be as a day for.
Not today we rejoicing. We want 3 years. We want 3. We don't even want 2 years. We want 3 years for the bear. They will end up me for that matter. You say you are BCO. We will not leave for you to go to view. We will call you. We will want to the same place. I'm a traditional for local country. Kwadu go ni tusu.
You serve me and decide. Cause ever we women in that will pray you gonna change. They gonna 1 year 6 months he be there. What's happened for you? 1 year, you're very woman. You get cost for what upon you.
So let's 6 months enough for you.
Not enough. That is going to change. You don't have people for what they don't cost that upon you and think as I'm not assist me.
So they say that was saying them today. Why today?
Now I'm ready today. So my ex will not have the way to talk at that time. We don't have the chance to talk at that time.
So you celebrating the Chief Justice?
Yes. Yes.
What message you get for other people that are letting her happy?
I said to I can say on air, you suffer cost other people they will go to see where they see where Prophet going.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, ma, we see you celebrating the down of carrying Prophet Key. You happy that the man will enjoy a Valentine's Day also?
You will not enjoy it. The 6 months again is small.
Let they put 1 more year on it.
Why not?
They 6 months. They making a cost. If it's a day by day, they making a cost day by day. That ain't good.
But the man saying they're advocating for Kubutina in the country. You believe?
Now, causing man talking for. Now, causing. He not change. He not change.
Prophet Key said Kwasi can make witchcraft change.
Yeah.
All right. So, man, you for the sentence too? Are you celebrating or you are a pro Prophet Key supporter?
I'm so excited. I'm so much excited. All glory be to God today. Today is today. You know, it is written in the book of Ecclesiastes verse 1. The Bible says there is time for everything. God can get people long road to repent and change for their bad attitude. But you see that young man today, he refused to repent for his evil ways. And today God decided to break him down to pieces. That is, God had disgraced him. God had made him light. God had brought him to a stage that he will still reason to repent.
But you think he will change when he come back, or the person will make him to be more aggressive in what he been doing?
I believe after the 6 months, he will encounter Jesus in ourselves. Yes, he will have a divine encounter in ourselves. And I believe by the grace of God, everything will turn around for your own good.
All right, man.
Do you have a special message for Madam Key?
His wife.
Yeah,
Do you have a message for Mama Key?
Madam Key, I'm speaking to you as God's servant today. You see, in this life, they say behind every successful man there is a strong woman. But your strength as a woman, you bury it because of the money, the love of money. You love money to the extent you bury your strength. You couldn't invite your husband. So I'm speaking to you today, and every other women out there who see your husband doing evil things, and compromise to him because you feel that when you talk, he will not feel you. But say no to that man. Put no to him and encourage him to change for a bad attitude.
What's your name, man? Your name?
My name is Mother Louise M. Wilson. I'm from the Baptist Church from Coffee Farm Power.
All right, man. Thank you. So the mother there stating that Prophet Key is going to encounter a prophetic happening there in the Monrovia Central Prison. But Nelson Collier was in the Supreme Court of Liberia and he witnessed the ruling being read. We were unable to have got a glimpse of Prophet Key because of the angle for where he was, but you were there and saw with your own eyes. As of when the verdict was read, what was the physical expression of Prophet Key?
Well, sorry, at some point I lost my voice, but the expression on Prophet Key changed drastically. Immediately when the verdict was being read from the onset, everything seemed very normal for Prophet Key. He appeared to be still optimistic that he would have won, or let's say the court would have handed down a ruling, maybe trying to pardon him. But immediately when the justice, the associate justice, James Etta Wolokoli, reached to that point of the court's ruling where she said, now therefore this court do hereby, sentence, let's say decides to maybe sentence Prophet Key for 180 calendar days or 6 months. The expression on his face changed, and on the contrary, there was serious celebration in the courtroom, Diamond. Women tried celebrating. The courthouse, the chambers of the Supreme Court became noisy for some minutes, and the Chief Justice had to order the sheriff to restore some calm in the courthouse. But predominantly women were celebrating, and it appears what Prophet Key has done over the years did not go down well with most of those women. And then following that, the Chief Justice then ordered the sheriff to immediately take hold or take charge of Prophet Key. He was being engaged by sheriffs of the court and immediately escorted at the marshal's office, where he was being handcuffed awaiting the official adjournment of the court before the escort, which we just saw here happening.
So meaning he spent at least close to 3 hours sitting in the marshal's office.
Oh yeah, Diamond. It was pretty close to 3 hours, and Prophet Key, at some point I saw when he was being escorted at the marshal's office, I did engage with him to ask him as to how he feels about this situation. Prophet Key did tell me that this is the kind of Liberia we have, this is the court we have, but he was specific about a particular her. And he kept saying that I will still insult her, I will still curse her. In fact,
was that on live TV?
It was on live TV. Sorry, it was on live TV.
So let Winston get you a bottle of water. Nelson is hoarse as of the moment, so we have to excuse him for a minute so that he, refreshes himself and gives us a better quality of his voice. Remember, Nelson has been here since Tuesday, returned on Thursday, and subsequently was in the Supreme Court of Liberia. He was giving us his first-hand encounter with Prophet Key after the verdict was handed down by the Supreme Court of Liberia. Yes, you said he was referring to a her, but he didn't mention the name of the her.
Yeah, so I kept engaging him, but he didn't mention the name of the her, but he kept saying that poverty will strike her, poverty will be her portion, and as I come back, I will still insult her. So I was trying to figure out as to whether it was Justice Wolokoli who read the ruling on behalf of the full bench, but he didn't get to say who exactly the her was.
But in contrast, is that not the same Prophet Key who, prior to entering the court, said that he's a changed man? He's not going to insult, he's going to be picky in his words, and now the court is also mandated that he signs a behavioral bond that never will he insult any Liberian. How is he going to do that? Because by doing that means you're going against the mandate of the court, the verdict of the court, and subsequently you could be held liable.
And Diamond, that was the exact question I asked Prophet Key. I said, but you just apologized to the court. In fact, you've been mandated to file a behavioral bond assuring the court that you are not going to repeat this situation. But he didn't respond to my question, but he kept on saying that he will still insult her. But as you know, Diamond, usually these kinds of environment are tense, especially when when Prophet Key get to be escorted, the environment was very tense, and I just managed to have engaged in. But another
we are seeing the motorcade of the Chief Justice being staged. We want to see to what reception he's going to be received with when the Chief Justice comes downstairs from the Supreme Court of Liberia to see what reception he will receive, as well as the associate justices of the Supreme Court of Liberia.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking forward. We're looking forward to that, Diamond. But as we speak, Prophet Key, even after he was being escorted, then I saw his wife. Then I engaged with his wife. His wife declined speaking to the media initially, but at some point she was being requested to go upstairs to get the belongings of Prophet Key, since in fact he was in the care of the sheriff and all of that. And at that point I engaged her. When I asked her, what do you make of the decision of the court? And she insulted. She said, take the microphone, take that blah 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 microphone from before me. And I asked her, but this is the same reason why your husband is going to jail. He's going to be spending his first night behind bars. But she said, she repeated that particular word. But she seemed to be very disappointed as well, because Diamond, she's one person who expressed high level optimism that her husband would have been released today. But on the contrary, he's going to be spending his first night behind bars.
Thank you there. Nelson Koleg has been following these proceedings since they began on Tuesday here at the Temple of Justice. The concluding matter is Prophet Key, Justice Opa Yinzin, has been committed to the belly of the Monrovia Central Prison. The duration of his incarceration, 6 months, as he was found guilty of criminal contempt against the court. So the court has got the right. The inherent power of contempt is enshrined in the Constitution of Liberia. Freedom of speech, as enshrined in the Constitution of Liberia, comes with responsibilities. And even though the KAK law of 2019 repealed all criminal offenses, you can still be held for judicial contempt, which is protected and inherent in Title 17
of the Penal Code of Liberia, Nelson. And as you listen to Justice Wolokoli reading the verdict of the court, she mentioned the integrity of the court as well, that his actions had injured the court.
Yes, most definitely, Diamond. And following everything yesterday, let's say that was yesterday. There was a point where Prophet Key was trying to make the case that he would never do it again. He was apologizing, and then the court was concerned as to how or why should we trust your apology that you just came before us and said you wouldn't do it again. Is on what grounds are we going to trust you? So that question resurfaced, and that became the basis on which the Supreme Court rendered its decision today, that though Prophet Key admitted, yes, he admitted, which means contempt is already off the way, because it's settled. He has admitted that he can be charged for contempt. But in terms of the apologies rendered, the court still maintained today that they cannot trust Prophet Key. They have no reason to trust Prophet Key, and there's absolutely no conduct, maybe past behavior that will trigger the court to make the decision to pardon him. So based on that, based on the lack of trust, based on the fact that the court is not in the position to trust that Prophet Key will not carry on similar act again, the court then decided to render that guilty verdict. And the Associate Justice today said they're doing it to send a message. They're doing it to set precedent. They're doing it to send a message to who be violators of that constitutional provision, that if they ever did so, punishment will be meted against them. And this is meant to sanitize the airwaves and create a very good society that the younger generation will be proud of.
Thank you, Nelson. Now the court is acting, or the court did act well within its power. But the court, again, if you read the reading, Nelson, whereas the court was trying to protect the integrity of the court also emphasized protecting the integrity and characters of all Liberians.
Exactly. And that was another key thing. And immediately when Justice Wolokoli got at that point, I saw a lot of people nodding as she, emphasized that particular point. Again, predominantly women. I saw some men as well, but predominantly women. They were nodding more like in favor of that particular portion of the ruling from the court. Yeah.
All right. So we are about wrapping up. We're just awaiting the exit of the Chief Justice from the Supreme Court of Liberia. We want to see to what reception he will be received to. But remember, whereas freedom of speech is guaranteed under the Constitution in Article 15, it also comes with responsibilities. So for ordinary Liberians who are asking themselves the question, what if, someone says something slanderous against me? What if someone says something that is libelous? Someone defames my character? What do I do? Yes, there is legal remedy. You can go to the court in a civil proceeding and file a defamation of character or a libelous, complaint against a person. But what the Camara law repealed was the criminal nature of what used to be, speech against the criminal speech against the president. 11.11, 11.12, 11.14. Those sections of the Penal Code of Liberia were repealed. So indeed, freedom of speech comes with a responsibility. What the Camara law didn't repeal as well was the inherent contempt power that both the judiciary and the legislature enjoys. But in this case, with emphasis toward the judiciary, all courts within the Republic of Liberia have got contempt power. Whether it's direct contempt, as in your actions violates the proceedings of a court in open court, that is direct contempt, or it is constructive contempt, that is outside of the court. You publish something that demeans the court, brings the court to public ridicule, undermines the integrity and the function of the court. That is, sedative speech or slanderous speech or scandalous speech against the court. You can be punished for that as well with a contempt charge. So that was what we saw happen. And Prophet Key has been charged with criminal contempt, found guilty of criminal contempt, and sentenced to 6 months in prison, Nelson, to publish for 5 days in 3 widely circulated dailies for 5 days, an apology, and also to sign a behavior bond to safeguard future engagements as well. We're about to wrap up. It seems like the Chief Justice is taking forever to exit the Supreme Court. We would have loved to show the reaction of Liberians around. I see his motorcade has gone back to, his escort vehicles have gone back to park in their original positions, but his main vehicle is still right here at the entrance of the Temple of Justice. As to when he will exit, we cannot tell, and we've been here for over 7 hours now.
Yes, Diamond. I mean, at the moment, I just want to say thank you. Thanks to Liberians out there. And all we did was to report what the happenings are here, to bring our audience, Liberians in and out of Liberia, up to speed with the unfoldings here at the grounds of the Temple of Justice. The Liberian people can be the judge. The court, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, the highest decision-making body in the land, has come up with a guilty verdict today. But there is also something called the Court of Public Opinion, and the rest of the conversation now is going to continue in the Court of Public Opinion. But indeed, the decision of the Supreme Court overrides, overrules, overshadows whatever that comes out of the Court of Public Opinion. But again, that's where Liberians get to exercise their constitutional rights when it comes to free speech and all of that, and that's exactly what we're going to see in the coming days. But I want to say thanks to you, Diamond, for joining us on today to make sure we can get this broadcast going. And I want to say thanks to the entire team. Ernest was here on Tuesday and on Thursday as well. Melvin Jackson, our judicial correspondent, have been doing a very good job making sure that we get the live updates from the courtroom. Even when the cameras were not allowed there, he was there making sure he filled us in with all of those live updates that we provided for our folks here. And for our intern, Gabriel, he's been here as well, providing technical assistance. Amos was here. Here we also had a great interaction. And I want to say thanks as well to Winston as well on camera, making sure that he can capture the visuals on such a very big coverage. I want to say thanks to everyone and thanks to you, Diamond. I've lost my voice, so I think I'm out for now. Thank you.
Thank you. With a loss of voice there from Nelson Collier and a loss of freedom for 6 months to Prophet Key, Mama Key is going to be without her husband for 180 days. The ambience here at the Temple of Justice has gone down by decibels. There isn't so much noise as compared to earlier when Prophet Key exited and was whisked away in an LMP vehicle nicknamed the Beast. For 6 months, he will be behind the tall fences of the Monrovia Central Prison known as South Beach. Friday, the 13th of February 2026 is going to go down as a landmark moment, not just in the history of Prophet Key and Keyism, but for the Republic of Liberia as well. My name is Diamond Slanger on behalf of the entire production team, bidding you farewell from the grounds of the Temple of Justice. Bye-bye.